Hello and welcome to Database Management Systems. I'm Jivita Christie, and in this video, I'm going to explain to you PLSQL if then and if then else statements. So let's begin. PLSQL has the following three forms of the if statement. Number one is the if then statement. Number two is the if then else statement. And number three is the if then else if statement. The following illustrates the structure of the if then statement. The condition is a Boolean expression that always evaluates to true, false, or null. If the condition evaluates to true, the statements after the then execute. Otherwise, the if statement does nothing. Now let's see this with an example program. So come on over and join me with your laptops to practice this program. For PLSQL programs, you can use the SQL plus Oracle command line, or you can use the live Oracle command line, which is available on the Oracle website. If you wish to install the SQL plus software in your computer, you can directly do it by watching the video that I've linked down below, where all the installation instructions are given. In my code, I'm going to switch between Notepad and SQL Plus command line. So sometimes you'll see me doing the code in Notepad first and then copy pasting it into SQL Plus. If the code is very small, however, you can do it directly in the command line, which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to move on to my command line directly. So this is my SQL Plus command line. I've already logged in. And because this is my first program today, after opening this command line, I'm going to write down set server output on. This would make sure that my server output is on, and everything that I write inside the DBMS output put line function is going to be printed. And now I'm going to go ahead and write down my code to demonstrate how if-then statement works in PLSQL. So first, like all PLSQL blocks, I'm going to mention declare, and then I'll declare the variables that I want to declare. In this case, the sales, I want to create a variable that displays number of sales. So this is my variable. The data type that I'm going to give to this is number, and I'm going to assign it 2 lakhs as an amount. And then I'll write the executable block where I'm going to mention what this sales amount should be actually. So in this case, I want the sales amount to be greater than 1 lakh. And if it is greater than 1 lakh, then I want my program to print this statement, that is DBMS put line, DBMS output put line, and I want it to print that the sales are high. So this way, once this is done, I can write down now and if. In PLSQL, we do not have the luxury of using curly brackets to open and close different blocks like you have in C language. Also, you can see in my code there is some indentation, but this indentation doesn't actually help you to show that this block is over. So in PLSQL, if you want a block to be over, you have to write down the keywords end and then the name of the block. So in this case, it is if. So I need to mention end if. Later on, you'll see how to end loops and different things. So everywhere you will be writing end and then the type of structure that you are trying to end. So in this case, I'm trying to end if, and that's why I'm going to write end and then if condition. And once that is done, you also have to end the executable begin block. So there you're going to write end once again and press enter and /. The // will run the code that you've written just now. And you can see it is running and it says PLSQL procedure successfully completed. And also it mentions that the sales are high because the value that I had assigned was 2 lakhs to my number of sales. And the value that is given in the if condition is 1 lakh. So it compares number of sales with 1 lakh, and it sees that it is greater than 1 lakh, and that's why whatever I have given inside the if statement executes. If, however, I were to pass a value that was, say, less than 1 lakh, maybe 50,000, then this would not have executed, and then I would have just got the message PLSQL procedure successfully completed, but I wouldn't have had the message sales are high. So this is how PLSQL if then statement works. It's very easy to understand. However, there are 2 tips that I'd like to give you in this regard in PLSQL. And those tips are you must, first of all, avoid writing a clumsy if statement. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to write a code here. Let's see, I'm writing a code. In the declare block, I'm going to declare 3 variables. A variable profitable, and I've written B because it's a Boolean variable. The second one I'm writing is the sales variable that I wrote previously also, which is a number data type, and the costs variable, which is also a number data type. And now I'm going to write my executable block begin, where I'm going to mention that this profitable variable is equal to false. It is false because it is a Boolean data type, so I can only assign true or false values. So I'm giving it a false value. And then I'm writing the if statement where I'm going to check that number of sales are greater than the number of costs. And if this is true, then what I want to do is change my profitable variable into true. So of course, if my expenditure, that means if my costs are less than the money I got through sales, then obviously I made a profit. So in this case, I want to make my profitable variable true. And that's what I've done here. So if my sales are higher than the costs I paid, then I made a profit and I want to make my profitable variable true. Otherwise, it remains false. And that's it. And in the end, I can write down end if to end my if condition and end to end my executable block. Now, in this example, of course, I can run this. So let me run it. So now I'm going to paste this. So I'll just copy this from here and I will paste it inside my command line. But before that, let me just do a quick clear screen so that whatever code I've written before is gone, and then I can right click and paste. Once it is pasted, make sure you're hitting the /. This will run your code. It says PLSQL procedure successfully completed, and in this case, I did not print anything. You can see in my code, I haven't written any DBMS output put line function, so it's not printing anything, but it is giving you the successfully completed message, which means there is no error. Now, in this example, you can see that it is clumsy. The reason why it's clumsy is because I don't need to necessarily write an if condition here. I don't have to write an if condition here. The statement that is present here, and number of sales greater than number of costs, that statement itself is greater, and that statement itself returns to you a Boolean value. So this statement right here gives you either true or false. And because of this, I can directly perform this thing by writing. So I'm just going to remove this and I'm going to just replace it with let's delete this and let's remove even the end if. You do not require an if condition here at all. You can write down here instead directly be profitable is equal to number of sales greater than number of costs. So what happens in practice is if the sales are greater than the costs, then this whole expression evaluates to true and the variable be profitable gets assigned the true value. And if this is false, if the sales are less than the costs, then this statement on its own is going to evaluate to false and the variable be profitable will be assigned a false value. So this is how, this is the first tip that you shouldn't use if condition unnecessarily when you just want to assign a Boolean value to some variable. Another thing, inside if statement, we avoid writing Boolean variables, and I'll show you an example of that. Let me remove this and let's write another small program. I can just bring that back. I'm just going to write down declare, and in this case, okay, let's use the same code that I had previously. But in this case, once again, like I said, I'm going to replace the greater than part here. So now the be profitable part can be true or false based on the expression which is evaluated here, which can be true or false based on the sales and cost amounts. And after that, the if part of the statement is what I'm going to replace. So here I can write down be profitable equal to true. And then I'm writing the keyword then. So what happens is if there is a profit, if profitable is true, which means if sales are greater than the costs, then I can print some message over here. For example, DBMS output dot put underscore line, and I can print a message over here saying that I can just print profit, right? So this is profit. And that's all. I just want to print that there's a profit if this variable is equal to true. At this point, I'd like to draw your attention to how I have compared the variable profitable with the keyword true. Now you can see here that I have written variable profitable equal to true. Normally in other programming languages, you would be writing double equal, right? Because that's what we are used to. We write double equal to instead of single equal to for comparison. But in PLSQL, you will be writing single equal to for comparison because when we want to assign something, we are using the colon equal to. So for assignment, instead of single equal to, we use colon equal to in PLSQL. And for comparison, we use one equal to instead of two in PLSQL. So I'm just comparing this and I'm going to print this. And in order for this to work, I have to assign some values to the sales part. So let me assign 2 lakhs for sales. And in this case, this equal to will be colon equal to. And once again, colon equal to. And I want to assign for costs 1 lakh. So this will make sure that it is profitable. So let me copy this. And after copying it, I'm going to paste it over here. Let me clear the screen very quickly. And let me paste it here. Right click, go to edit, click on paste. Once it's pasted, hit enter and / for the code to run. And you can see the word profit is getting printed. Now this is working very fine. There is no problem with it. However, you do not need to mention in the if condition why it is written here true or false. You can change this value by just removing the equal to and true. There's no need to put equal to and true together. The reason for this is the if statement, when it receives a Boolean variable as a condition, it is automatically going to perform the true and false test. So you don't have to specify that this is equal to true or this is equal to false. So you can just directly mention it in this manner. If be profitable, then, and then you can mention what you want to print and mention end if when you want to end this thing. And now if I run the code, the same code in my command line, so I'll go there once again and I'm going to do a quick clear screen and I'll hit the bar on top, right click, edit and paste. And / would make sure the code runs. And you can see it is still printing profit. So it gives me the same output. So remember that with if condition, we do not mention the true or false part. If the condition variable is a Boolean variable, you can just mention if variable. So if the variable is true, the statement executes. And if the variable is false, the statement will not execute. So this is the second tip. And that's how you can perform all the things related to if condition in PLSQL. The if then else statement has this type of a structure. If the condition evaluates to true, then the statements between then and else execute. If the condition evaluates to false or null, the else statements between else and end if execute. Let's see this once again with a practical example. So in this case, I want to create a program that records a value. In this case, I want to create a program that has number of sales as a variable. And if this number of sales is greater than 2 lakhs, then what I want is to give a commission of 10% for that. And if the sales are less than 2 lakhs, then I want to give a commission of 5% instead of 10%. So this is exactly what I want to implement here. And let's see how I can do that. So first of all, let me declare all the variables. So I want to declare a sales variable, number of sales variable. And this is a number data type. So I've written n underscore sales just to show that it's a number. And this is equal to, let's say, 3 lakhs. And then I want to write down the commission variable, which is also a number. And I'm going to mention this as 10, 2. 10, 2 means the size is 2, the size is 10. And out of those 10 digits, 2 will come after the decimal point. And this is equal to 0 for now because I'll change it later on. And now I can do begin. And in the begin part, I'm going to write down if the number of sales are greater than 2 lakhs. Then I want this, then I want the commission to be 10% of the sales. So 10% is actually 0.1. So I'm just going to write 0.1. And now comes the else statement. So else statement is going to work if the if condition doesn't work. So here I'll write else. And after else, please do not mention then because there's no condition. After else, we do not mention any condition because else will execute when if does not execute. So else, I want my commission. Oops, I misspelled this one. So this is commission with double S. Then I want my commission to be equal to number of sales times 0.05 because I want to give 5%. And once it is done, remember that we have to do end if. We do not have to do end else. It is all a part of the same block. So end if, and then end the executable block, and my code is ready. Now I just have to copy this go to my SQL command line. This is my previous code, which I will clear out by writing clear screen. Go right on top, right click, edit and paste. And this is right here. And I'm going to do a /, and it says PL/SQL procedure successfully completed. I haven't printed any of the variables, so I'm not getting any answer here. Let's go ahead and print the commission variable. So I'm going to do dbms_output dot put underscore line, and I'm going to print the commission variable here. Since it's a variable, I don't need to do single quotes. I can do it directly. And let me copy this. And here I'm going to clear the screen and I will paste it here. And / to run my code. And it gives me 30,000. So 30,000 is actually 10% of this 3 lakhs. So our sales were 3 lakhs. And that's why it is, and since it is greater than 2 lakhs, the if condition runs and gives us a 10% commission, which is 30,000. Let's also try to run this separately. Let's try to run it in the else part. So I'm going to reduce the commission to be 30,000. So in this case, the else part is going to run. And once again, I'll copy this, go to my SQL command line. I can clear the screen here. And once again, right click, edit and paste. I can put a / and you can see now it gives me 1,500 because it went into the else section where it gives me only a 5% of commission. So this is how the PL/SQL if-else statement works. That's it for this video. If you want to learn about the if then else if statement, come on over and join me in the next video. Thank you for watching.